My name is Carolina Mercado. I come from East Los Angeles, California. So I've been in the obra in Australia for almost 2 years and a half. When I was about 14, I kind of had this dream, to go to the obra. So then when Servant of God invited the youth to go to Houston, we're in LA. The brother said, if you're studying, then don't really go. It was kind of like, if you're not studying, then you can go. So I was like, oh, well, I can't, Even though I kind of I feel that something was missing. There was something, I don't know, I could never really finish school. Maybe I lacked motivation. Maybe I wanted something else that I couldn't find. And so I let the opportunity go because I was studying. So it was kind of hard for me, and then I saw everybody going, and then it was really hard for me because I saw people were getting called, but I still thought it was only like a dream in the future, because it's like the love of the souls. You realize the way you grew up in a happy place. I grew up with my parents both being in church, choir. It was always so safe, and it was something that, I guess it moved me not only to serve Servant of God, but the souls, because sometimes so I was in choir, and then I would go every once in a while to the obra, but I still felt like incapable. I was like, I don't know how to do anything. I don't know how to work. I don't know how to cook, clean. The basic things that somebody should probably know, I didn't, so I thought I would be useless. But then 2015, when Servant of God, Hermano Nazon, he invited the youth to a caminata. Inside the temple, he said, if to the world you are useless, to me you are very useful. So that's something I held on to, I identified. Reality is, pretty useless. But to him, I could be useful. My experience in the labor has been, life-changing. I felt that before there was a lot in me missing, purpose, if you think about it, well, we go to school to get a career, to be okay in life, to succeed, but there was something more, but I didn't know what it was. I didn't know what I was waiting for, but I felt there was something I was waiting for. So since I've come to the obra, God helps you. But Servant of God said that you could be useful. So that's what I've held on to this whole time. And I've seen how God has helped me, not for me, but for the service of the church. Things I could never do before, I find myself being able to do. And it's all been for the service of the church, and it's very satisfying to see yourself grow in favor of the church. Not for you, not for to benefit yourself, although you do benefit. You do benefit being closer to God and fulfilling something that is so important to the apostle of God. The way somebody and somewhere down the line preached to your mom, to your dad, and they were converted. It's what I'm doing now. I'm taking the time to preach, to have patience with the souls, just like someone did for me. Like the apostle of God has sent me here. So many years ago, the apostle of God sent somebody to preach to my grandparents, my great-grandparents. And it's really, I can't really find the words to explain, but it's so satisfying. It just, every minute that you're in the obra is not a waste of time. And that's what's so, it's sometimes we're filled with regret. I should have done this, I should have done that. But every minute that I'm here, I don't feel like it's a waste of time. So my advice for those of you who want to go to the labor and were like me, or are like me, who feel useless, who thought that you can't see yourself in the way that you see obreros come back, you see them like with this image that you're so holy, you know, but it's really, if your heart is there, God's going to use you. Even if you're the most useless person in the world, God is going to use you because you're giving up your heart, your will to God, and He's going to help you. So I'm a firm believer that no one is actually useless, that God will use you. But you have to commit. You have to commit to it. It's not going to be easy. It's not going to be simple. And it's not going to be impossible. It's up to you. If you want to, God is going to help you. And I advise you, if for you it was a dream, like it was for me, find the bravery within yourself to live your dream.
May the peace of God and the grace of our Lord Jesus dwell in all my brothers. My name is Haid Alvarez. I come from the Church of East Los Angeles, California. I've been serving in the labor for about 2.5 years to this moment. And what moved me to come to the labor was something very unexpected. Because I give my testimony as me as a joven from my church. I was active. I was in choir. I was in different activities in whatever the jóvenes were doing, and especially as a young joven, when I was like around 14, 15 years old, I thought about going to the obra. I thought about signing up to the obra to dedicate my life for the service of the Lord, but that feeling, that desire, never grew from that feeling, and it was only just a desire. It was only just a feeling that I had that it would be nice, it would be beneficial for myself, or better yet for the souls, that I would dedicate my life to preaching the gospel. My experience has been unbelievable. From day one, when I arrived to those places of Sydney, Australia, one of the first things I experienced was love. Something so beautiful from the brothers, from my fellow companions. Something that was never I experienced back home. Not because the brothers were not loving, but because the position and that trust that the Apostle God puts in His missionaries. Not because we are something special, but because we're the ones that the Apostle God has sent. And in my heart, it has done wonders. It has transformed me. Who I was, who I wanted to be back home is no longer who I am today. My visions and my passions are completely different. The way I even conduct myself, the way I express myself, has changed who I am. And those benefits that I received, bettering myself, are only just the benefits or the extras that the obra provides. But I've seen the work of God firsthand in front of your eyes. In front of my eyes, I've seen how the Lord has done miracles. I speak as for myself, a testimony. When I was in the obra, one time we were visiting a sister that had ceased assisting us for quite some time, and the brother had sent us to go talk to her and go motivate her to come and motivate her to continue going to church. And I went with 2 other sisters, and your brother stuttering, and your brother not knowing and not trying to find the words to motivate the sister. And I was only a couple months into obra. I was still even struggling with my Spanish. But the Lord took over, and He put words in my mouth, those words that I did not even expect to say. And many moments like that, when the Spirit of God takes over, and you feel the Lord use you as a vessel, use you as a tool, as something more than what we see ourselves. We could be the worst persons in public speaking or preaching the gospel. But in the hands of God, he can move mountains. I've seen how the God helps my companions as well, giving them gifts, giving them wonderful talents in serving in the mission, in serving in the battlefields. How in moments of distress, in moments of anguish, because those moments have to happen. Those moments are bound to happen when we feel alone, when we feel anguish in our lives, when we feel that we can't continue on longer. You miss your parents, you miss your home, you miss all the things, your commodities that you had back home. And it's beautiful when you learn to trust in God. You learn to put everything in the hands of God, and He takes care of you. And maybe you don't see the answer right away, but He comforts you in so much. When you see that none of the material things, not even your family matters, but it's only you and God, and that is what you show and try to teach the church. You try to teach the souls, and you want to share that with the whole world. You do it because you know that you're doing it for the right cause, because a certain God has put you in this place, has entrusted you with that task. You're helping Him. The more you work here, the more that you preached here, the more He gets to rest. And I would tell my brothers that you act on that feeling. I know many of us, when we hear the sermon of God, we say yes, that we're going to be faithful to Him, that wherever He wants us to go, we'll go. And sometimes, not because we're bad people, but at the end of the day, we don't, for one reason or another, maybe because we want to get married or go to school, we don't go to labor, we don't want to sign up for many reasons, reasonable reasons. Like any human being, we have our own agendas, our own objectives in life. But it's to take advantage of the moment, take advantage of the opportunity He's giving us to serve alongside Him. Not like in the scriptures it says how the people of Israel used to hear the words of the prophet, and they would hear him, and it would just be como un cantor de amores. But if we really love Him, we're gonna act on His invitation. We're gonna act, and we're gonna want to do whatever He wants us to do. Take advantage of whatever feeling that you have. It doesn't matter if you're skillful, if you know how to talk, if you stutter. None of that matters. Because in the hands of an apostle, we can do anything. And it's not because of us. Because we could be young, we could be inexperienced. But God is the one that's helping us. And God is the one that puts the words in our mouth, in our lips. Because that's our mission, to preach. He doesn't send us to be here to know new countries, but He sends us with that objective, to preach the souls. Maybe we don't like to go preaching on Saturdays or back home, but we learn to love it. We learn to act on it, and we love it because we love the sermon of God. And that's what pushes us to act, to do what pushes us, or what our heart tells us to do.